Hello, welcome back to Learnovative Agile and Scrum video series. My name is Vijay Bandaru. I'm a certified Scrum trainer, certified team coach, and certified enterprise coach from Scrum Alliance. We create these videos to help understand the Agile and Scrum concepts in an easy manner so that you can implement them in your projects and products. So in this video, I'm going to cover about Agile. So what Agile is, what is the history of Agile, and what is Agile Manifesto, what are the values and principles of Agile Manifesto, how any organization can become Agile. These are the topics we are going to cover in this video. So let's see a story here. Imagine this person's name is John. I'm taking just a random name, John. John's weight is 105 kgs. So one day, John decided to become like this. If he becomes like the right side person, there will be definitely some advantages, like he can be fit, fast, active, healthy, flexible, and he can also try various different attires. But it cannot happen in overnight, just like in a week or two, it cannot happen. So he has decided to do two things: workout and diet. So his diet approach is no solid food, only liquid food, something like protein shakes, milkshakes, energy drinks, something like that, no solid food. And he has decided to do the workout in such a way that doing exercise for longer than 12 hours. That means spending more than half day in gym to do the exercises and living only the liquid diet. Is it possible to get this result in 2 to 3 weeks? Impossible. But there is a high probability of getting hospitalized due to energy drain, faster energy drain, and a very limited intake of the food. But instead, if John makes it as a lifestyle, so when I say lifestyle, every day 1 or 2 hours of exercise, any exercise, maybe gym or walking or cycling or any cardio or weight exercises, 1 or 2 hours, and probably taking less of carbohydrates, more of a protein, and low quantity amount of the food, and no late night food, no junk food, no oily food, something like that. Maybe 2 to 3 years. If he does that, then definitely he'll get the result. So imagine John has spent continuously 3 years of time by following this lifestyle, and he has achieved this in the 3rd year. Then he immediately stopped everything from next day. Is it possible to retain that result, whatever he achieved in the last 3 years? Not possible. So similarly, any organization wants to improve their time to market, quality of their products, collaborative nature of the working within the organization, increase the transparency to the customers, improve the flexibility of the work they are doing, and also competing with the competitors more effectively, and being very flexible. The mindset of the organization has to be changed. When I say mindset of the organization, it's the mindset of the people. So it cannot be changed suddenly overnight. Something like a CEO sending an email to all the employees saying, we are all going to be having this mindset, so change your mindset from this approach to that approach, might not happen. But there will be certain values and principles, if that help to set and sustain mindset, then that will be great. Let's imagine there are certain values and principles your organization followed 18 months. Everybody in the organization followed all these values and principles 18 months. But then after that, they stopped everything. Still they maintain that mindset? Not possible. That means transformation is a journey, not a destination. Something like fitness is a journey, not a destination. Fitness is a lifestyle, right? And moreover, any organization, management or leadership focuses more on these top two things, which are tools and practices. They don't bring any change, any considerable positive change. The reason is the top two things, which are tools and practices, are more visible but less powerful. But the bottom three things, even though they are less visible, if everybody follows indefinitely, continuously the values and principles, they'll be able to develop, sustain, and keep that mindset. So that is why transformation is a journey. So, for example, if your organization management changed the tool, the existing tool to Jira, doesn't get any mindset change. Just it is a tool change. So Agile is all about a mindset, a flexible, adaptive mindset. So what is the history of Agile? So in the year 1970, there was a person called Winston Royce. He invented a method called waterfall. Waterfall is a silo-based approach or a phased approach. Once you do the analysis of the requirements and then you do the design and then you do the coding and then you do the testing, all these things happen in a phase-wise approach. So that waterfall was used almost until 2000. That means 30 years, from 1970 to 2000, 30 years, because waterfall was best proven during those days, and it was used for any kind of project, product, or service. Then in the year 2001, February month, 11th to 13th, a group of people, 17 people, called as Agile Alliance. That group is called as Agile Alliance. So they met in a city called Salt Lake City, Utah State, in United States of America, with a specific objective in mind. Their objective was to find an alternate for document-driven heavyweight software development process, which is nothing but the waterfall. So as part of that meeting, they have introduced something called as Agile. So by creating Agile Manifesto, the Agile Manifesto consists of 4 values and 12 principles. So what is the relationship between values and principles? Values will help you to achieve some benefit. Principles will help you to implement that values. For example, honesty is one of my core values. So one of the supporting principles may be always speak truth irrespective of the situation. Integrity is one of my core values. So then supporting principle may be irrespective of whom you are dealing with, deal everybody or treat everybody equally or impartially or neutrally. That is what is the values and principles relationship. So as part of Agile Manifesto, they have introduced 4 values and 12 principles. So there is a small difference between the Agile word starting with small letter A and capital letter A. It is important to understand the difference. The small letter A, Agile, it's a broader term that encompasses a mindset or a philosophy, which is primarily focuses or prioritizes flexibility, adaptability, and collaboration. Whereas the capital letter A, Agile, it refers to a specific set of values and principles, as discussed briefly earlier in the Agile Manifesto by the 17 people group, Agile Alliance. It advocates iterative and incremental development, focusing on flexibility and adaptability. That means responding to change. So in that case, which is subset of which? So if you look at this picture, the capital A, Agile, is the subset of small a, Agile. So what does that mean? So capital A, Agile, small a, Agile refers to the broader mindset of adaptability, flexibility, and responsive to change, whereas the capital A, Agile, refers to the formalized practices embody the Agile mindset, the small a, Agile mindset, which means you can summarize this understanding as all capital A Agile approaches aim to be small a Agile, but being small a Agile does not always mean following a formal capital A Agile approach. So that's the difference between small a Agile and capital A Agile. Now, Agile success factors. There are 4 success factors for Agile. If you consider Agile is a car, and these 4 success factors are each wheel of the car. So the first one is called inspect and adapt. So let's take the case of John. John's weight was 105 kgs. So he has to continuously inspect his weight time to time, maybe a couple of months or 2 to 3 months, and adapt the food habits and the exercise habits or the fitness habits according to that. So similarly, any organization who wants to continue to be agile, they have to inspect the internal things like the cultural aspects, structural aspects, job descriptions, hierarchies, processes, tools, techniques, all these things, and continuously improve them to be more flexible and more adaptive. The second one is teamwork. Teamwork is something called as a group of people coming together to achieve a common goal by spending their collective knowledge, experience, and expertise. So Agile promotes teamwork because in a teamwork environment, 1+1 is definitely more than 2 because both people are collectively working. So they share their thoughts, their ideas, and their skills together to get a better productivity. So Agile promotes also teamwork. So the third one is self-organization. What is the meaning of self-organization? Self-organization is nothing but allowing people to make decisions on their own. Nothing but the patterns coming up or emerged from internally rather than external forces or constraints. In other words, moving the authority of making the decision making to where the information is. That means, in simple terminology, enabling people to make their own decisions. So what is the advantage of making people self-organized? When you make people self-organized, they'll be more motivated. The decisions are also made faster. And moreover, the decisions who have made the decisions, they have more accountability towards the consequences. So that is how that will promote the accountability. So these are the 4 wheels of the, you can consider these are the 4 wheels of the car if the car is agile. So these are the 4 important essential factors to be success. Now, what are the 4 values of Agile Manifesto? So as we discussed earlier, the 17 people group called as Agile Alliance, they have created this Agile Manifesto with 4 values and 12 principles. So it starts with this statement. We're uncovering better ways of developing software by doing it and helping others do it. Here, this word "we" refers to the group of 17 people called as Agile Alliance. So they were telling to the entire world, we're uncovering better ways of developing software. That means by doing it differently compared to waterfall and helping others to do that way, whoever is interested. Through this work, we have come to value. By doing this differently, we have come to value these 4 statements. These 4 statements, which we are going to discuss now, are called as Agile Manifesto value statements. So if you observe this statement, the first statement, better ways of developing software. That means Agile was initially introduced to develop the software development practices because all these 17 people have something common relationship with the software development. Maybe some of them are architects or programmers, or they've created some software practices or processes. So initially their thought was to improve the software development. But after seeing so much success in software development using agile ways of delivering, other industries also like pharmaceutical manufacturing, automobile, healthcare, all these industries also started adopting agile. So what was the first value statement? Individuals and interactions over processes and tools. So this means comparing to blindly following processes and tools, if you give importance to individuals, which means the people who are working on the problem or product or whatever they are building. Interactions mean their communication, collaboration, and interactions. So that is better compared to blindly following, because blindly following the processes and tools will make them to switch off their common sense. They don't use their brain. They blindly follow the process and tools. The second value statement is working software over comprehensive documentation. Imagine you are building a software, and first 2 months you spend good amount of time to analyze the requirements and you give software requirement specification document to customer. Next 3 months you have spent time to understand the design, architecture, database, all the APIs, all these things. Again, you have created a set of documents: high level design document, low level design document, and ER diagrams. Now if you give that documents to the customer, it cannot generate any value to the customer because they can't sell those documents and make money. But every month, if you try to give a small piece of working software functionality of the product, customer will be more happy. So that is the second value statement. The third value statement is customer collaboration over contract negotiation. Comparing to these two ways of working, collaboration based working and contract based working. Collaboration based working will have more flexibility, trust will be created more faster, and also flexibility will be more. So that's what they realized, the 17 people who have co-created the Agile Manifesto. The last value statement is responding to change over following a plan. Following a plan is more of a output focus approach, but responding to change is more of an outcome approach. So from the customer point of view, outcome will be more important than just output. So that is what the 17 people have realized. So they are concluding the value statements by saying, that is, while there is a value in the items on the right side, these highlighted items on the right side, we value the items on the left more because these left items will make us more agile. That is how they have created these 4 values. Now, these 4 values are supported by 12 principles. What are those 12 principles? Principle number 1, our highest priority is to satisfy the customer through early and continuous delivery of valuable software. Early value delivery will be giving feedback early. So early feedback will help you to reduce the cost of change or control the cost of change. Continuous delivery of value working software will help the customer to get the return on investment. So that is the crux of this principle. Second principle is welcome changing requirements even late in the development. Agile processes harness change for the customer's competitive advantage. That means you should be open to receive late changes. Why late changes? It will create more flexibility to compete with the customers or anything that suddenly changed in terms of the compliance or regulatory in the market or economy, anything. So the open to change will help to create flexibility. That is what is the crux of the principle number 2. The third principle, deliver working software from a couple of weeks to a couple of months with a preference to a shorter time scale. That means this principle and the first principle has the relation. So first principle is talking about early and continuous delivery of valuable software. The third principle, quantifying how early, how continuous. So taking a range of 2 weeks to 2 months, but with a preference to the shorter time frame, because time is the enemy of transparency. The longer the time you take to deliver anything, the lesser the transparency is. That is why they are suggesting to take a shorter duration, so that shorter duration delivery cycles will help you to get early feedback and continuous feedback, which increases the flexibility and also control the cost of change. The fourth principle is business people and developers must work together daily throughout the project. This will help to create a continuous conversational environment. So it reduces the to and fro loops of communication. Continuous conversations and communication interactions will help to keep the information up to date. Everybody will be up to speed and up to know, knowledge transfer will happen. So everybody will be on the same page. So create transparency. Transparency is nothing but shared understanding. Then the fifth one is build projects around motivated individuals, give them the environment and support they need, and trust them to get the job done. This principle is more applicable for the leadership and management side of the people in the organization. The more you trust people and the more you support them to get the job done, the more they're transparent to you. And whatever they are doing, they'll be creating more transparently. It will create a psychological safety, experimental approach. So that will create a lot of learning. The learning will be leading to improvement. So that is what is the principle number 5. Then there is a sixth principle, which is the most efficient and effective method of conveying information to and within a development team is face-to-face conversation. So this principle more focuses on talk more, write less, because talking through documentations or emails may be leading to misleading the information or lack of proper understanding or the time delays. So, but if you encourage the time to face-to-face communication and conversation, it will reduce the to and fro loops, the clarifications and doubts can be upfront. So talk more, write less is the crux of the principle number 6. Then principle number 7, working software is the primary measure of the progress, which means value-based metrics. So when you are trying to measure the progress of anything you are doing the agile approaches, better to use some outcome-focused or value-based approaches. So don't bring that old way of measuring progress like the phase-wise approach or output-based metrics into the agile way of working. That is the crux of the principle number 7. Then eighth one, agile processes promote sustainable development. The sponsors, developers, and users should be able to maintain a constant pace indefinitely. The reason for this principle is sustainable pace leads to predictability and consistency. So, for example, if a team is taking 3 weeks as a delivery cycle, so every 3 weeks, they take a small amount of work and they develop end-to-end, they test end-to-end, and they create a working software and they show it to the stakeholders. So over a period of time, the sustainable pace will be creating consistency and predictability so that will help to forecast better. Then the ninth principle is continuous attention to technical excellence and good design enhances agility. So this principle has a relationship with the second principle we discussed earlier. The ninth principle has a relationship with the second principle. So what is that? The second principle will help the organization to achieve the business agility. That means flexibility and responding to change. And the ninth principle will help to create the technical agility. That means when there is a change received, by keeping the architectures, designs, databases agile, that means flexible. So it will support the business agility. So the ninth principle, continuous attention to technical excellence and good design enhances agility, will indirectly help to achieve the second principle, which is supporting to achieve the business agility. Then the 10th one, simplicity. The art of maximizing the amount of work not done is essential. This is focusing more on the value prioritization. So something similar to Pareto rule. The Pareto rule talks about 80-20 rule. 20% of the features will contribute to the 80% of the overall product value. So how do you identify the 20% of the features which will contribute to the overall 80% of the value? By keeping the low value and no value items aside, will help you to identify the high value and high important, high critical items. That is the crux of the principle number 10. The 11th one is the best architectures, requirements, and designs emerge from self-organizing teams. So earlier we discussed self-organization is nothing but the emergence of patterns and trends emerging from the internal things rather than external constraints or pattern. That means empowering people to make the decisions related to architecture, requirements, and design on their own rather than giving some external advices or constraints. That will help to make the architectural more robust, more flexible, and also the decisions related to the architecture, the accountability lying with the team. That's what is the 11th principle. But the last principle, which was the 12th principle, which is 12th principle, is the at regular intervals, the team reflects on how to become more effective, then tunes and adjusts its behavior accordingly. It is nothing but inspect and adapt. So time to time, the team inspects their processes, tools, techniques, the behaviors, their relationship, and the tools they are using, the technologies they are using. So time to time, inspection and adaptation will make them better. So by following these 4 values and 12 principles, every person in the organization, they follow continuously, the organization can achieve that agility. So when the organization achieves agility, there'll be more achieving the time to market, faster time to market, flexibility in making the changes, and enabling to respond to the change in terms of any organizational changes or market changes, or competing with the competitors more and effectively implementing any compliance or regulatory things, and improving the quality of their products they're building, and also the creating a collaborative nature and improving the transparency. But the crux and most important point is these 4 values and 12 principles are not compromisable. That means if any organization wants to be agile, every person in the organization, be it the implementation level programmer or a tester or a lead or a manager or a leadership executive role, something like a CEO, someone like a CEO, whoever, designation or title doesn't matter. Every person in the organization must follow these 4 values and 12 principles in order to be agile. When everybody becomes agile, the organization becomes agile, and then they will be able to achieve the results of the agility we discussed. I hope you have enjoyed the learning of this video. If you have liked this, please like and subscribe to our channel, and also share this video with your friends. And in case you're looking for any trainings or consulting services related to Agile, Scrum, SAFe, and AI trainings, please contact this information. I'm providing my email ID and the mobile number and website. We are happy to help you. Thank you so much and have a great time.